What's up guys, Rob from jointmotorparts.com. In this video we're going to show you how to replace the Minn Kota Ultrex steering sensor board. The steering sensor board is located on the inside of the Ultrex foot pedal, and it's one of the four main parts that control the steering of your motor. If your steering isn't responding, or if the responsiveness of your steering is off, this may be the problem. If you guys need to pick one of these up, we'll have the link in the description below. I'm going to show you how to replace it step by step, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is disconnect the power from the motor. Next, we're going to flip the foot pedal over and take the screws off of the backing plate. And now we can disconnect the steering sensor board plug from the main control board. To do this, you'll need to pop this tab right here with a small flathead screwdriver and pull it out. Next, we're going to remove the two Phillips screws from the cable clamps that are holding the sensor board cable. Now we can go ahead and cut the zip tie, freeing up the sensor board cable from the reed switch wires. And now we can flip the pedal over and loosen the nut holding the potentiometer on with a 1/2-inch wrench. And once the nut is removed, we can slide the potentiometer out of the speed knob. And now we can turn the pedal back over to punch out the pivot pin. The pivot pin is knurled on the same side as the on-off switch, so you'll want to drive it out from the opposite side. And now we can pull the pin out. And once the pin is pulled out, we can pull the top plate off the pedal. And to remove the steering sensor board, we're going to take off these 4 screws right here using a number 2 Phillips. And once those are removed, we can pull the sensor board off of the pedal. And once you do that, you can pull the wire free. As you can see, these two sensor boards look a little different. This one here is the original, and this one is the replacement. Minn Kota was having a lot of issues with the original sensor boards going bad from water getting in the foot pedal, so those were discontinued, and now the new style ones are completely sealed. So now we can go ahead and reinstall the new sensor board. Slide it into place, and then we will put our 4 Phillips screws back in. Now we can go ahead and put our cable clamps back on the sensor board cable. Make sure you leave yourself plenty of slack here so that the pedal has room to rotate. There's a small groove in the foot pedal. You'll want to make sure that your sensor cable is routed down inside of that. And now we can zip tie our reed switch wires to the sensor cable. Now we can reroute our sensor board cable in through the same hole that the reed switch wires and potentiometer ribbon are coming through. And once we do that, we can flip our top plate back over to reinstall the pivot pin. And now we can put our pivot pin back in. It also helps if you put a screwdriver or an Allen wrench in from the opposite end to help line it up. And now we can drive it back in. And now we're going to flip the pedal back over on its side and reinstall the potentiometer into the speed knob. Make sure you put the washer and the nut on before sliding it into the speed knob. And push it into place. And now we can tighten it up with a 1/2-inch wrench. And now we can flip the pedal over and reconnect the sensor board connector to the main control board. And now we can go ahead and put our bottom plate back on. Make sure to check that none of your wires are being pinched or pulled too tight. And if they're not, you can go ahead and put your screws back in. You'll want to start with the 2 machine screws that are holding the control board in. And once the screws are all back in, we can flip the pedal back over, turn the power back on, and test. To test the steering board, you'll power the motor on, and with it deployed, you're going to steer it back and forth using just your fingertips. There should be no more than a 1/16 inch of free play when turning in either direction. If there is, I'll have a video linked below on adjusting your steering. So that covers it for the Ultrex steering sensor board replacement. If you guys need to pick one of these up, we'll have the link in the description below. I hope this video helped. If it did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and keep trolling.